Today is Saturday, last Saturday of June 2024. I'm relaxing in my Jeep. I don't know how I can get the legs so high, but that's how I like to sit when I'm not working. Because the other door is too far. I cannot reach with my leg over there. Put on a tank top, and then I changed my mind. It looked too sexy. So I put on this. I don't like this material, it's not very healthy, it's not breathing, but it looks good, it looks professional. Cleaned up the car in the morning, wiped off all my leather seats. In the back there, everything is clean, and made sure I clean up all the handles. So I have that spray, like universal cleaner. And started the app at about 8:30 a.m. when I was at home in northeast Calgary, so nothing was happening for about 15 minutes. I checked DoorDash to see maybe DoorDash would, because I still carry one bag with me, DoorDash was dead as usual in my northeast area, but Calgary North, just west of Deer Food Trail at Country Hills Boulevard, showed very busy. So very busy, bright red area, that's always a good sign, because if it says just busy, you can sit there for 2 hours with no orders, but very busy, you'll get something, right? And DoorDash I can cancel. Of course, they don't like it when you go below 50% acceptance rate, but quite often you can do like a small run, $8 for 2 kilometers, just 10 minutes and you made $8, or sometimes you get, good, you can make some good money. Well, not in Calgary, I would say. Like, I heard some people living in big cities in US were making like $200 a day just doing, DoorDash and Uber Eats. But I like taxi better, because taxi, you don't have to get out, right? You don't have to walk to the restaurant and then to the house to drop the order. It's kind of like more dignified, you feel more kind of like, out of these two, I would say it's definitely superior to food delivery. You're in a clean, nice car, you talk with people, you try to be helpful, help them with the luggage. And so, I saw that Calgary North was busy, and then on Lyft, I can check wait times for different areas. Like when you click on one, symbol with, let's say it says 5 minutes, which of course means nothing. You can sit there for 2 hours, but still it's kind of like an indicator, right? So, but if you click on that, it gives you an option to view wait times, and then it opens up a map of Calgary, and everything is color coded, and you will see like red is bad and green is good, kind of like with traffic lights. So green areas means short waiting time. And I saw that where I was sitting there was nothing, and south of me it was green, and then west of me, Calgary North, where DoorDash was very busy, was also green, so which means like 1 to 5 minutes waiting time. So in reality it means nothing again, but it means that if it says 1 to 5 minutes waiting time, you'll get a passenger quicker than if it says 20 to 40 minutes waiting time, right? So it's not accurate, but it's an indicator. Like, it shows you the potential of that area. And so I thought, hey, nothing is happening while I'm sitting at home, so I'm gonna start moving towards that Calgary North area. And as soon as I turned the corner from my house, the phone beeped, and it gave me, I forgot what they call it, but it's not, they don't send it to me, they send it to everybody. Kind of like a mass mailing, and see who would take it. And that's, I clicked, it says new over there, like there's a like offer, one offer, and then to the right it says new, and new is illuminated, and so it's clickable. So I click on new, and right away I click accept. I don't care what it pays, as long as I see that the actual, no, I did see the number, but as long as I see that the number is not like 50% of kilometers, you know, it's not like $10 for 30 kilometers, but this one was $22 for 25 kilometers. So it's like a long ride, but a ride in my area, like 1 kilometer away. And so I accepted it, and it was like matching in progress, you know, to see if anybody else accepted that, because, you know, again, they are sending this out as kind of like a mass email to all drivers in the area. And so whoever first clicks that accept, you know, and then that wheel starts spinning, and then it says success, basically I got this ride. And so then the map pops up on the screen, and it just leads you to the pickup place. And it was a guy, and I asked him, so I said, road trip? He says, no, going to work. Like, he was very grumpy. I said, hey, I'm working too, you know. And so it took him 25 clicks south on 201, and it was like Glenmore Trail West, Highway 8, and some kind of like a transport company. So I didn't want to ask him, because, you know, I said, hey, I was a trucker, are you a trucker too? But the guy didn't seem to be in the mood for talking. And as they always say with this kind of business, you need to be able to read the room or read the car. You know, if they're chatty, they want to talk, or they don't want to talk, right? Because they don't want to upset people, but, you know, the guy doesn't want to talk, you know. Or the driver was, you know, obtrusive and, you know, hostile or whatever. Hey, why are you not talking? I ask you a question, right? They're not gonna like that. So you just try to, read the guy's or the gal's mood. And I always keep the music on, and I try to get a feel for what kind of music they like. Of course, if it's a younger person, I always use like Hits 1 on Sirius XM, which is like popular modern music. If it's like an older guy or girl, maybe I'll try, you know, like classic vinyl, or like, you know, older 80s, 90s music. And so that was my first run. And of course, I ended up in an industrial area close to Ring Road, 201, and the Glenmore Trail. And I checked on Google Maps, and there's like no shopping areas anywhere. It's all, you know, companies, all factories and stuff like that. And so I thought, okay, let me, like, I'm still learning, you know, that's why I'm doing this, is because taxi is totally different from food, right? Food, okay, I would just go to the closest shopping center where there's lots of restaurants, right? Because that's where you get your orders, right? But taxi, you know, you have to think a little bit differently. And so, but I still decided, you know what I should do? There's nothing is going to happen in this area, so I definitely have to get closer to, you know, civilization, so to speak. And so I put in Starbucks near me, and it shows me something 11 kilometers west. And I recognize the area because that area is where I was last weekend, and it's a huge shopping area with, you know, IKEA, Walmart, I think Canadian Tire, there's a bunch of restaurants, Denny's, you know. And I say, hey, I know that area, you know. So yeah, I drove 11 clicks and checked DoorDash. DoorDash is dead. Last time, actually, I picked up order at that Starbucks in that plaza next to Marshall's store, and there's some kind of sports goods store over there. And it was like $7 for 1 kilometer or 2 kilometers, you know. So, but I opened DoorDash. DoorDash is all grayed out, nothing. And so I said, okay, I'll go inside. Took, of course, my phone with me, so I keep an eye on the Lyft, and go inside, get myself a Americano, 2/3 decaf grande upside down, and large water, no ice. You need to stay hydrated, right? And then as I was waiting for my order, my phone gave that nice, super pleasing sound. So Lyft offered me a ride, and I see it says 3 kilometers away, and then goes 5 kilometers to the destination, and pays $7. And the customer's name is Julia. Like, holy moly. So it's Russian, either Russian or Ukrainian. And the pickup was Calgary Food Bank. And I was there last weekend. Last weekend, it was funny. I picked up a couple with a huge suitcase, and I could tell it was full of food because it's Calgary Food Bank, right? Huge, very heavy suitcase. I helped them put it in the trunk. The car was like sitting like this. The front went in the air. I'm kidding. And I took him to IKEA, to the place where, you know, the Starbucks was, right? And so this time it was pretty much similar. So, but I drove to Calgary Food Bank, and I see a Russian-looking girl with a small child with a big couple of bags standing at the entrance, and they have a special, because there's a lineup there, like to enter, there's a lineup of cars, you know, it's a very popular place. But for Uber and taxi, they created a separate lane to the right. It says Uber taxi only, and basically I can only come up to the entrance. And so I drove to the entrance. I said, Yulia. So I started speaking Russian right away because I knew she was Russian, because the way her name was spelled, of course it can be Julia, but her name was spelled with a Y, Y-U-L-I-A, Yulia, which is like translation from Russian, right? And I said, Yulia. And she's like, oh. She was a bit surprised, but then she says, in Russian, she says, yeah, I saw that your name was Sergei. She says, my husband is Sergei. I said, there you go. Okay, so I helped them with the bags. They jumped in. I said, what kind of music do you like? I said, disco or heavy metal? And she says, no, it's okay. No, music is fine as well. And so I just put on the hits one, and we chatted a bit. So she lives, she says, you know Chinook Center? I said, yeah. So she says, well, our apartment building is right around the corner from that one, which is beautiful because Chinook Center is a popular destination. This is where I picked up last time I was here, and I got a passenger from here. He was going somewhere, I forgot, but basically this is a Chinook Center over there. So there's Spot Check, there's like a million of stores, and I'm sitting right next to Chapters, and there's lots of parking, you know. But this is a very good area. There's Home Depot on the other side, lots of banks, Mark's Warehouse, A&W, Burger Place. So no reason to leave this area because this is great. So I'm hoping I'm gonna get something. I've been here about probably 20 minutes, and so now I gotta check DoorDash because there's a food court inside, and you never know, or there's again a bunch of restaurants around. So if Lyft is dead, I'll do a couple of, you know, DoorDash deliveries. I don't care. So it's all good. Check DoorDash. This area shows red busy, which again means nothing, but at least I can click the button dash now. Otherwise they don't allow me to dash, right? Click the button, right away the phone beeped, and I got a great offer, $5.25, and the distance, so the pickup is somewhere here, but the distance to the customer is 14 kilometers. $5.25 for 14 kilometers. Right away I click decline. Just finished ride number 3. Guy was south and east of me. The pickup was probably like 8 kilometers, and he was going to northern suburb of Okotoks, which is like 30 kilometers, 20 miles. And there was a young kid, and at one point I thought, well, where are we going? Because, you know, it was going like to one of these crazy, you know, mansions in the middle of nowhere, like very big house. But we chatted. The guy works for a moving company, like they do some office moves, you know, specialized in office moves, and he says, well, we travel all the time. And I ended up, you know, in a beautiful area. It's all super quiet. That's west, mountains are there, like the fields, you know. So this is amazing. Like, yeah, it's cheap. Again, Uber probably would charge double. They paid me $23, and I did probably total, including the drive to the passenger and then loaded, I probably did 36 kilometers. So $23 for 36 kilometers is not very good, but again, I'm learning. It's my second week. I take everything they give me, and it's not my main job, so I don't care. I just need to make 400 a week. That's my goal. Use Uber and eventually Lyft and eventually Uber to make 400 Canadian a week. If I can do 1,600 a month, it would be a big help. But again, what do you do in a situation like this, right? You end up way out of, you know, urban area. So I checked, of course, there's no rides, but instead of driving all the way back to, let's say, Chinook Center, where I was sitting, I know the southern Calgary, like the very bottom of Calgary, it's a very rich area, and they have like shopping centers there, like Walmart and stuff. And so I've been there before. It's right next to 201, the ring road. So I'm gonna put that as my destination in Google Maps and just go there, and hopefully I'll get something, because last Saturday was great. I was quite happy with $200 I made, you know. But I like this job, you know, even though I'm not making much money, but I enjoy it. I enjoy meeting new people. I enjoyed the conversation, you know, instead of sitting at home by myself and drink vodka, you know. Might as well be with people, because I am a sociable guy. So if you're a sociable guy, if you know, and if you like traveling, this is a great gig, you know, I think. But the jury is still out. We'll see what happens when I get Uber, because everybody says Uber pays more. The rides are more expensive for customers, and so they pay better to drivers. But Lyft is kind of like super friendly. It was easy to set up, only took 2 weeks, right? That's why I like Lyft, but I definitely gonna run them together. See, whoever offers me a ride first, I'm gonna put the other one on pause and go with this one. And then when I deliver, drop off the person, just reactivate the other one, and again see who offers me the offer first. And I think that's how you make most money. You have to play the game. But again, so now that I have to get to the nearest populated area in Calgary. So my strategy worked. So I drove like 20 kilometers north from Okotoks to the populated area in the south of Calgary, which is a big shopping center. And had turned off the app, and I went to McDonald's for a quick lunch. And then when I turned it back on, right away, even though there was no waiting time indicators, which usually indicates it's a busy area, so like there was nothing. And so I was not sure what to do, so I was ready after lunch to just drive north on that Highway 2A, McLeod Trail, towards downtown, which is like another 20 kilometers, so I was not too happy about that. And so when I finished lunch, I switched back on the Lyft app, and right away it rang and gave me a nice order, pretty much from the same area, going to, you know, central Calgary. And actually I drove back south about 5 kilometers, crossed the ring road 201. It was like one of those rich new neighborhoods over there. Actually, I think I've been there with my truck when I was doing deliveries, you know. And so yeah, I picked up like a mother and her daughter, and drove here. I know this area very well. This is a Walmart here on the opposite side, and there's like a bunch of restaurants, and I'm now in central Calgary. So instead of driving empty 20 kilometers, I'm here. I think the ride paid $21. So now I'm sitting with, I only did 4 rides. Now it's 1 o'clock. I'm not sure what's going on. Last Saturday I did 18 rides, 1-8, and I made $200. Now it's 1 o'clock, and this is was my ride number 4, but I'm at $76 now. But I did a lot of kilometers, you know. So let me double check here. I did 142 kilometers so far. So 142 kilometers, but only $76 revenue. So basically 50 cents a kilometer, which is not too good. So hopefully here, while I'm in this more populated area, there should be better rides. And also I'm gonna, after I finish this, I'm gonna see what DoorDash is doing. If there's DoorDash, maybe I can make some money there, because sometimes what they do is with Walmart, you know, they do grocery deliveries, like not actually shop and pay, but you go in that special spots they have there, and they bring out lots of stuff, groceries, so that somebody ordered online, and then you deliver. And you know, you don't have even to get out of your car. You just, I can open the trunk remotely, they put the stuff in. But normally I get out just to help the guy, you know. Don't want to be a douchebag, so I always get out of the car, you know. Don't be lazy. But these ladies, her mom and daughter, didn't have any bags. And so, and then yesterday I tried that 10 p.m. scheduled ride to the airport. You know, never did this before. It came and showed up in my queue, kind of like an offer. $10 to go basically from my area where I live to the airport, 7 kilometers, which is okay, except I had to go back home and rest for an hour because, you know, I was already getting tired. But 10 o'clock, I thought, okay, I'll do this and see what happens. But they gave me there was some kind of a bonus. So I got $2 bonus, and then the lady I picked. That's right, I'm at the Pilot Flying J, where I used to spend lots of time as a trucker. You guys recognize this? Safety gear over there, some CB radios, and of course coffee. And this is beans to cup, so they only have 3: Sumatra, Colombian, and Pilot House. But I went with Colombian medium roast. Look at this beauty. Yeah, this was the life. So I have bobtails over there. This is just gas for cars, propane, and then we have diesel stations for trucks, and that's your parking spot. That's where we used to sleep and kill time till the next loading or unloading. And then in the back there's the scale. Right, so typical truck stop. And then over here people have some kind of a picnic in the middle of the frame. So yeah, and surprisingly, when I was paying, I got some water with coffee. Surprisingly, they still don't have tap. You know, like everywhere in Canada, wherever you go, when you pay for something, most people don't bother with, you know, entering your PIN number and putting the card in. You just tap, and there's a symbol tap on all our cards and on most machines. But Flying J never has tap. And I asked him, I said, hey ladies, it's been 5 years, are you getting tap anytime soon? And they just laughed. So Flying J is behind in terms of technology, but I feel a little bit homesick, right? But what's funny is that when I was a trucker, you know, I could never afford anything, you know, but when I got out of trucking, I was able to buy an apartment, you know, and join the ranks of homeowners, even though it's only a condo. But you know, everybody has to start somewhere, right? Yeah, but I forgot to say how I got here, how I got to the Flying J, where the last time we talked about Lyft, I ended up near Walmart, right? where I dropped off the mother and daughter at they were going to beauty supply store. And I said it was a great area, and I was not disappointed, because 5 minutes later the phone rang and I had a ride right from the Walmart. So I knew a shortcut how to go through that 7-Eleven, and I ended up on that street that goes right to Walmart. And there was two ladies with a big suitcase for some reason coming out of Walmart, and they were going downtown. And so I took them right to the 9 Ave, where the TV tower is. That was like $11 or $10 or something like that. And then again, I found a place to park for a few minutes, and my phone beeped again, and there was a guy going 20 kilometers southeast to this area. Like, I just dropped him off maybe a kilometer away from here. And I'm like, man, again, they kicked me. You want to stay in downtown because that's where, most rides are. But, each time you take somebody, it kicks you out of downtown, right? So I ended up here, which is still better than when I was this morning. So this is southeast, but I'm real close. Like, Highway 2 is around the corner here, Deerfoot Trail. So I can jump on Highway 2 and just be, let's say, at the airport in 10 minutes. But I hope something will show up here, because it's also, I think it should be a good area. And what else did I want to say? Oh, the funny thing is that when I was sitting there on 9 Ave, I found a spot like loading zone, 20 minutes, But I'm in the car. See, if I see some parking infraction officer, I can say, hey, I'm in a blue Jeep Compass, give me a break. No, I'm kidding. But anyway, so I found a place to park, and again, 5 minutes later, my phone beeped and I had another victim. And I look at the map, how it sends me to pick up the passenger, and the passenger is pretty much standing behind my car. But because 9 Ave is a one-way street, the app wants me to go around the block like 1 kilometer, 3/4 of a mile, and pick up the guy who stands like 20 meters behind me. And and there was his picture. Not everybody has a picture in their profile, but this guy had a picture. I click on the picture, and he has Iranian or Persian name, or Muhammad, right? So I knew that he was Asian. And so I got out of my car, and I see there's a guy standing behind me, like really 20 meters at the intersection, and staring at his phone and going like this, So then it's for sure, whenever you see somebody staring at their phone and looking at cars, because the app says blue Jeep Compass, and so he's okay. Because I'm guessing the app was telling him that I was right there. And so I came to this side of the intersection, started waving my hands, hey, Muhammad. And okay, cool. So he walked over when the light was green, and we got in the Jeep and had a nice little drive down here, except, 22 kilometers, it only paid $12. Like, I don't know what's with the rates, like 22 kilometers should be like at least $20, right? Not $12. Like, I see the tendency, they're trying to pay like 50 cents per kilometer, So one cool thing about truck stops is they sell glasses, Like, I broke my glasses and I have some old ones, and I went to Canadian Tire, which is supposed to sell stuff for drivers, right? And I cannot find any glasses. I said, where's the glasses? And they said, we don't carry any. But when I was at that Flying J, and where I got this coffee, I saw like 3 big racks of glasses, so I chose these ones, $20. Because the sun is really bright, you get wrinkles if you just keep squeezing, your eyes. And so now I'm sitting at $127, but I already covered 207 kilometers, which is too much. So I did 8 rides only, and it's already 4:30 p.m. Last Saturday, I did 254 kilometers total, and I made $200, but I did 18 rides. So rides were shorter. Like today, 8 rides. See, like one guy went to Okotoks, right? It's all cross. I took one guy from like southeast, pretty much all the way to like 5 clicks away from my home. And then I dropped him off, and he gave me, it was like $18, and he gave me a tip. Like the only tip I got today was from this gentleman, $3, which is nice. And after that, they sent me an order. And there was like long Indian name, and I couldn't figure out, was it a male or a female? So I'm not sure who I'm looking for. I'm standing at the house, and a lady comes out, and she says, actually the address is this. And she gives me an address. I said, wait, what's on the Uber, on the Lyft app, I see the pin where I'm supposed to drop you. And she says, no, I tried 3 times. The Lyft did not accept that address that I tried to put in. And I put it in Google. Google finds it. But the difference is like 2.3 kilometers, What is it, like 1.5 miles? So I'm pretty sure she, they would charge her more, right, for 2 extra kilometers. So I cannot just do it by myself, But then I said, you know what? Let's keep driving. I'll get you to your destination. And Lyft hopefully will see that I'm off and will, update the record or something. And so that's what I did. Yeah, it turns out it's a brand new area where there's lots of unfinished houses around. So these are like new streets. And I'm guessing that house number was not yet registered with Lyft or something, with the maps. But anyway, I got her to the destination. And Lyft was asking me, do you need help? Looks like you are in a wrong location. And I think there was a button there saying that the customer changed location. And so that's it. Nobody shouted at me. And the lady was happy that I took her. She was going to her friend's house. And again, I heard an interesting story. So she's from Brampton, and a young lady, and she works for Amazon. And she was transferred here for work, but all her family is back in Ontario. So she wants to move back. Over there. I said, what, you don't like it here? She said, well, yeah, I like it, but all my family is over there. I have to she's fighting with Amazon to allow her to transfer back to Brampton, Ontario. So I said, hey, I'm from Ontario too. I said, Cambridge? She said, oh yeah. So nice girl, but little problem with the input of the address. So anyway, now I'm in my area. It says waiting time 1 to 4 minutes, and of course nothing is happening for already. I've been here 10-15 minutes. Maybe later I'll go to the airport, since now I know where to check into that little special secret parking lot. Otherwise the app does not see you as parked at the airport. It's not gonna put you in the airport queue unless you are in that particular parking lot. And Uber still, they're so stupid. They keep sending me emails saying, please update your TNDL. Because I tried to upload or take a picture of the Lyft TNDL, and I did it like, 7-8 times, because they keep telling me this is the wrong document. I keep uploading the Lyft TNDL, and now I think yesterday every day they send me an email. Last reminder, please update your TNDL. Like, I cannot update it. You guys applied, right? And they sent me another email confirming update about your TNDL. An application was submitted. Soon you should receive an email from the licensing department, vehicle for hire licensing department of City of Calgary. And I did get that email, I think, on Tuesday. Yeah, City of Calgary admitted they received the application on Tuesday. I think last time I took with Lyft, after I got that email saying they received the application, it took 3 business days till I got the actual license. And then it took another 3 days for Lyft to update their records and send me an email saying that, welcome. Basically, it was a week. So now if I got that on Tuesday and now it's long weekend, hopefully I'll get it maybe Tuesday. Tuesday, then let's say Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday. So by the next weekend, I hope to be able to do both Uber and Lyft, which should really increase my earnings and give me more chances for work. But I do enjoy it. It's really fun. You see, I had to, I don't know if it's too open, but it's really hot in the car, even with air conditioning. So, and my t-shirt, that fancy t-shirt, was getting wet. I keep using the Trusted X. Works very well, Oh, and I bought this little, that tree that you can put in your car for a nice smell. But it's against the law, I'm pretty sure, to put it on the mirror, so I put it over there. It's behind my seat over there. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, it's hanging over there. So that's what's happening. So now we're just waiting for the next ride. I cannot go home. I need to make $200. I'm at 127. So hopefully, and it's 4:30 now. So I don't know. They're gonna cut me off after 12 hours, but I started at 8:30. I really don't want to work 12 hours, but today is a bit worse than last Saturday. But usually Saturday, in my experience, is the best day to do this. Oh, and today we have a big event at night, that McMahon Stadium. There's something's happening there. They expect like 10,000 people, and there's a bunch of flights coming in later in the evening. So I still have that option to go to the airport, but I already did too many empty kilometers, so I'm gonna sit here till I get my next victim. Well, I'm at $139 after I brought that girl from Amazon, and I came to this top secret undisclosed Lyft and Uber parking spot, and it's telling me that there's 11 to 15 drivers ahead of me, and the rate of rides given is 7 rides per hour, which means that if there's 11 drivers, I'll be waiting 2 hours. But why I'm here is because they're saying that in the next 2 hours, Lyft expects 3,000 passengers, descend upon this place. And so if there's only 11 drivers, it's not like 20 or 40, like a couple of times I saw that number, 20, 40. So 7 to 15, it's not too bad. And also, while you're waiting in queue, they're gonna give you offers, like, I forget what it's called, match, the ones I mentioned before, where they send them out to all drivers, and whoever clicks that button first wins. But often I found that they're cheap, but still, you have a chance to get a ride ahead of your queue, so you don't have to wait 2 hours. If you capture one of these, matching offers, and you click, fast enough, you can get it. That's how I got out of here last time. I didn't wait all the while in queue. But yeah, so 11 drivers, 11 to 15 ahead of me at the rate of 7 rides per hour, and about 3,000 passengers expected. And also there's a big event happening close to downtown at that McMahon Stadium. So it would be cool, if I get a ride from here somewhere to downtown. Usually rides from here go far, right? Because otherwise people would have a car, so it goes either downtown or Calgary West or whatever. Or maybe they'll go to a hotel here. Then it's like $7. But I hope they'll go downtown, and then I can catch some of those. There's like thousands of people at that McMahon Stadium, and so maybe I can bring somebody back, to this area or my area. But so I need to make $60 more, which I'm not sure if it's realistic or not, since it's already probably 6 o'clock. But the day is young. It gets dark at 10 p.m. right now, so I can drive. But again, I started at 8:30, so they're probably gonna shut me down at 8:30 p.m. because they don't allow being on duty past 12 hours. So you must take 6 hours off. So I'm a bit disappointed that today is kind of like so slow, and yet I did so many kilometers. So rates are cheaper than last weekend. But hopefully I'll get something good from here. And maybe somebody will give me a $50 tip. You never know. Well, I'm sitting next to some hotels. There's Best Western, and then I think there's another one. Stay In. And over here we have McDonald's, and then we have Basha Foods International. And I got here because I spent about 30 minutes at the airport and was hoping for a big nice ride, you know, like 25, 30 bucks. Of course, it didn't happen. Got an offer, 10 bucks, 12 kilometers, which is not too bad, but not great. The only good thing about this was that the ride was taking me straight down to Highway 16 and Highway 2, which is kind of like a central east part of Calgary. There's lots of restaurants here, lots of hotels, you know. And I thought, hey, that's might be the silver lining. And so this was my passengers were a mid-age couple who took a vacation, mini vacation away from their kids, whom they left at the hotel. I don't know where they're from, but basically they, you know, they show up and there's no luggage. And I said, oh, no luggage. And they said, yeah, we just returned our rental car, because most rental agencies, as I mentioned before, in Calgary are at the airport, and it's right on the departure level. I've been there many times myself when I was renting something for the weekend, when my Hellcat was in storage. If you remember, I put it in storage for the winter. And so this was a guy and a girl, well, middle-aged, probably like 35, somewhere there. And I took them straight to the hotel, and then I see the nearby area shows like 1 minute waiting time. There's like 3 spots right next to me. It says 1 minute, then 2 minutes, 1 minute. And the app says your waiting time is 1 to 4 minutes. I'm like, holy moly, like I'm gonna get moving. So that was almost an hour ago. So I had time to do some push-ups, went into the hotel to use the washroom. I just stayed in the parking lot of the hotel. Then I got tired of sitting there. I decided to see maybe if I move a little, you know, sometimes the app picks up and gives you something quicker. And so I just moved like 200 meters towards McDonald's and this Basha Foods. I was getting hungry, and the sign says Bakery Deli. And I went inside, and I remember this place. When I was doing DoorDash, I was picking up an order there. It's kind of like a shawarma place inside. You can order a wrap and everything. And it's pretty cool. There's a big screen, like a monitor in the front. And that's where you do your ordering. You choose components, what do you want to add. And you just pay there through the machine. And you put in, and they ask you for your name. And so when your food is ready, they call out your name. But before I ordered, I still had my app running. So I asked the guy there, I said, how long will it take, like a chicken shawarma wrap? And he says, oh, 5 minutes. Okay, I thought 5 minutes, I can deal with that. And so I ordered the wrap. I had time to finish it. And at some point, those zones were showing 1 minute waiting time. And the app also said, your waiting time is 1 minute. And I'm like, holy moly, like I better finish my wrap quicker, you know? So I did all that, washed my hands, nothing. So now I'm thinking about my next move. I should probably move, I think it's about like 7 kilometers north towards Walmart. That's the nearest Walmart here. So maybe some people would be going home with groceries. But right now I'm sitting at $150, and I had the total of 10 rides. 10 rides, $150, but I did pretty much, you know, more kilometers than last Saturday, and still I couldn't even reach $200, so which is not good, but it's a good weather. I enjoy the company of all these riders, and I went to Okotoks, saw the nature, so it's kind of like combining work with play. Well, I just had my passenger number 11, and we are at $159, and this was like less than a kilometer from that place where I was sitting near McDonald's, and there was this fitness club, and I look at the name, and it's an Indian name. I cannot tell if it's a girl or a guy, and I go over there, and at the entrance I see a person looking at the phone, looking at cars, so I know it's my passenger because there's nobody else, and it's a girl. And she gets in, and we start. I said, "Are you a bodybuilder?" Because I was kind of like joking, but she says, "I'm trying to be." Cool. I said, "Hey, I'm into this myself." I said, "I have kettlebells at home." So we started chatting, kind of like pro talk. And I asked her, "What's your favorite exercise?" And she looked actually pretty strong, and she says, "My favorite exercise is one leg squat." I said, "Wow, you can do one leg squat?" I said, "No weights, right?" And she says, "No, I do with I think she said 40 and 20. Man, like I think when I was a kid I could do 10 one leg squats, but no weights. In Russian we call them pistolet, which means pistol. It was called pistol exercise because when you extend your leg, right, and you sit down, it looks like a pistol. But here they just call it one leg squat. And because I was interested in her and we had an interesting conversation, I got a $2 tip. So that's a tip for Lyft and Uber drivers. Be interested in your passengers. Ask them questions they would like to answer. And of course, that's from the famous book of How to Make Friends and Make People to Like You. What was that book? How to Make Friends. I studied it like a Bible, and that was one of the rules. Use people's names, smile, ask them questions about themselves, and ask them what you think they would enjoy answering. And so when she said she's a bodybuilder, and I was genuinely interested. Oh, and yeah, of course, the main one is show genuine interest in other people. And I was genuinely interested because I just did 40 minutes this morning with two 70-pound kettlebells and two 50-pound kettlebells and two 45-pound weight plates. So thanks my sponsor from Niscu who gave me that nice bench. And I think I asked her so she said her favorite exercise is one-legged squats, and I said mine is bench presses. I said I take two plates, which is 90 pounds. I do maybe 10 or however much I can do. When the last 2 or 3 are super difficult, I stop, and then I said I pause, I take a break for 10 seconds, and then I come back, and now I do the same but with one plate, 45 pounds. And I told her, I said, I've been doing this for a long time, and it's really working. When you do a bigger weight and then smaller weight, instead of doing repetitions with the same weight, like bent row, I do with a 70-pound kettlebell, then I wait 10 seconds, and I do it with a 50-pound kettlebell. Unfortunately, those are the only two I have, and that's why I stop. Of course, ideally it would be best if I also had, I don't know, let's say 30-pound kettlebell, right? Then I would do 70, 50, 30. That would be even better. But so that's what I like about this job. You meet interesting people, and you don't sit by yourself in your apartment, and go crazy. So at least I'm talking for the video. So if somebody watches me now from the side, and there's a guy sitting in sitting in a car, and he's talking, well, at least I have an excuse. I'm doing a video. But by the way, so I took her from this good fitness club to the, oops, sorry about that. Are we still horizontal? Yeah, sometimes the picture flips. So I took her to this transit station, actually, which is pretty popular because to get here, people say on weekends buses don't run very well, and so I picked up once. I drop off a lady here, and then I picked up two guys, and now this girl. So see this LRT, those trains, they run pretty good, but buses, like, to get to this place, so most people just take Uber or Lyft. Well, it's 10 minutes after 10 at night. I'm finally home. I've been online, either riding with passengers or driving empty or waiting in a car or taking breaks for 12 hours. And Lyft had to shut me down because I dropped my last passenger. I was like 11.98 hours. And so my last ride was after I dropped off that bodybuilder at the transit station. I pretty much went to my home area, and then from here it's only like 7 clicks to the Cross Iron Mills shopping center just north of the ring road, and I got a request from there. It was for 18 bucks, something like $19, which is not too bad. But I think the distance was actually either 22 or 25 kilometers after I picked them up. So I did 7 kilometers to the shopping mall, and then I think 25 to the destination for $18. And then I returned empty 22 kilometers. So it was a bit stupid, but again, I think tomorrow, Sunday, I'll start. I'll have to start being more selective with rides. I know this will affect my acceptance rate, but I'm not gonna cut like half. But something that's really bad, like for example, now probably I wouldn't have taken that Okotoks trip because there's nothing there, and it was 30 kilometers one way, so I did 60 kilometers and made 20 bucks. But anyway, so the numbers for today is I did 322 kilometers as opposed to 254 last Sunday, and I made $178 as opposed to 200 last Saturday, and I had 12 rides as opposed to 18 last Saturday. So basically, I did more kilometers, less revenue, but fewer rides, which means that today was, for some reason, it was not as busy as last week. But maybe tomorrow will be busier because it's a long weekend. Monday, most people don't go to work Monday, but actually I'm working at my main job. But instead of 7 to 4, my shift will be 8 to 1. So it's like half a day, which is nice. So I think I'll come out with a taxi once I get home. Maybe there'll be something on Monday. Usually Mondays are dead, but this being a long weekend here in Canada, maybe something will happen. But there you have it. So lots of sitting. It's not exactly like digging a trench with a shovel, right? It's not like hard labor. You just sit and wait for rides. You watch YouTube on your phone. You Google things that come up to you. Like I have a question, okay, I Google it, you listen to the radio, and then you think where to reposition your car if there's no rides, right? And then boom, you get a ride, you go do it, easy, you just drive it like your own car, no big deal. But yeah, it's very long hours. So 178 bucks for 12 hours. Thanks for watching.